The coffee shop was quiet that afternoon, the soft hum of conversation blending with the smell of roasted beans. I sat by the window, laptop open but untouched, watching the rain slide down the glass. My daughter Lily was at school, and for the first time that day, I had a moment to breathe. Being a single dad wasn't something I had planned. Life had simply turned that way 3 years ago. Since then, everything revolved around Lily, school runs, homework, bedtime stories, and the quiet promise I made to myself every night that she would never feel like she was missing anything. I had just taken a sip of coffee when someone slid into the chair across from me. "You always sit here." I looked up. She was smiling, confident, curious. Probably around my age, maybe a little younger. Dark hair, sharp eyes, the kind of presence that made the whole table feel brighter. "Sometimes," I said calmly. She glanced at the empty chair beside me, then back at me. "Good. I was hoping it wasn't reserved." I shrugged slightly. "It's not." She studied me for a moment, leaning back in the chair like she was analyzing a puzzle. "You're very calm," she said. I raised an eyebrow. "Is that unusual?" "For a single dad," she teased with a playful smile. "Yeah, most of the ones I know look like they haven't slept in weeks." I let out a quiet chuckle. She tapped the table lightly with her finger and said, almost teasingly, "You're too calm for a single dad." I leaned back in my chair and met her gaze. "You don't know me," I replied simply. Her smile widened. "Oh, now I'm curious." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Outside, the rain kept falling, and inside the cafe, the world moved slowly around us. Finally, she extended her hand. "I'm Maya." I shook it. "Daniel." She tilted her head slightly. "So, Daniel, what's your story?" I hesitated. Most people ask that question casually, expecting a short answer. But stories, real ones, were never short. Still, something about her curiosity felt genuine. "I have a 7-year-old daughter," I said. Her expression softened instantly. "What's her name?" "Lily." Maya smiled warmly. "That's a beautiful name." "It suits her." She leaned forward again, resting her chin on her hand. "And where's Lily right now?" "School." "So you're taking a rare break." "Something like that." She studied me again, like she was trying to understand why I seemed so composed. "Still," she said, "you're suspiciously relaxed." I laughed softly. "Trust me, I've had my share of chaos." "Really?" "Oh yeah." She crossed her arms, clearly interested now. "All right," she said. "You can't just say that and not explain." I looked at the rain outside again for a moment. 3 years ago, my life had been completely different. I had a demanding job, a busy house, and a future that seemed predictable. Then everything changed in one night. And suddenly, it was just me and Lily. "You ever notice," I said slowly, "how people think they know someone just by looking at them?" Maya nodded slightly. "All the time." "Well," I said, "that's usually where they're wrong." Her eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Then prove it." Maya folded her arms on the table, clearly settling in. "Okay," she said, "I'm listening." I took another sip of coffee before speaking. "When Lily was 4, I began, she got really sick one winter." Maya's expression immediately turned serious. "It started like a normal flu. Fever, cough, nothing unusual. But one night her fever got so high she couldn't even stay awake." I paused, remembering the panic of that night. I drove her to the hospital at 2 in the morning. Snow everywhere, empty roads, and I was terrified I might lose her. Maya listened quietly. "They kept her overnight," I continued. "Turns out it was pneumonia." She exhaled slowly. "That must have been scary." "It was," I said, "but kids are tougher than we think." A week later, she was running around again like nothing happened. Maya smiled faintly. So that's why you're calm. Partly. I leaned back. When you go through something like that, everything else feels smaller. She nodded thoughtfully. But still, she said, most single parents I know are constantly stressed. Oh, I get stressed, I replied, just not where people can see it. Maya laughed softly. So you hide it well. You learn to. She tapped the table again. Let me guess, she said. You're the kind of dad who packs school lunches perfectly, helps with homework, and somehow still shows up to every school event. Pretty close. Her eyes widened slightly. Seriously. Lily's school had a science fair last month, I said. We built a volcano together. Let me guess, Maya said. It exploded all over the kitchen. Twice. She laughed out loud this time. I like Lily already. She'd like you too, I said. Really? She likes people who ask lots of questions. Well, Maya said, that's definitely me. For a moment, we just sat there smiling. Then she leaned forward again. But you still haven't answered something. What's that? Why you said I don't know you. I looked at her carefully. Because the truth was, most people saw a quiet guy drinking coffee and assumed life had always been stable. They didn't see the sleepless nights, the double shifts, the endless balancing act of work and parenting. Because, I said slowly, being calm doesn't mean life is easy. Maya's smile faded into a thoughtful expression. I figured. I continued. Some days are chaos, some nights I barely sleep, and sometimes I worry I'm not doing enough for Lily. But you still look calm, she said. I shrugged slightly. That's for her. For Lily. Kids notice everything, I explained. If she sees me panicking, she'll panic too. Maya seemed impressed. So you stay calm for her. Exactly. She leaned back in her chair, studying me again, but this time her expression had changed. Less teasing. More respect. You know, she said quietly, most people would complain nonstop about how hard their life is. I smiled slightly. Complaining doesn't help Lily. Maya nodded slowly. For a moment, the cafe felt quieter than before. Then she smiled again. Okay, she said, you win. Win what? My first impression was wrong. I raised an eyebrow. Oh. Yeah, she said with a grin, you're not just calm. She pointed at me. You're dangerous. I laughed. Dangerous. In a good way, she clarified quickly. How so? Because calm people usually have the most interesting stories. She paused for a moment. And something tells me yours isn't finished yet. The rain outside had slowed to a light drizzle, and the cafe was starting to fill with the late afternoon crowd. Maya checked the time on her phone. So, she said, when does Lily finish school? In about 40 minutes. Are you picking her up? Always. She smiled warmly. That's good. I started closing my laptop when she suddenly asked, can I ask you something a little personal? Sure. Do you ever think about dadding again? The question didn't surprise me. People asked it more often than they realized. Sometimes, I admitted. And Lily comes first. Maya nodded immediately. I respect that. I studied her for a moment. Why do you ask? She shrugged casually, though I could see a small hint of nervousness in her expression. Well, I was thinking maybe you might want company for coffee again sometime. I smiled slightly. Are you asking me out? Maybe. She tilted her head playfully. Is that a problem? Not necessarily. But anyone who spends time with me also spends time with Lily. Her smile grew. That sounds like a package deal. It is. She thought about it for a second. Then she leaned forward and said, honestly, that might be the best part. I laughed softly. You haven't even met her yet. True, Maya said, but she helped build a volcano that exploded twice. That's already impressive. We both stood from the table. Outside, the sky had cleared slightly, and sunlight was beginning to break through the clouds. As we walked toward the door, Maya stopped beside me. You know, she said, when I first walked over, I thought you were just another quiet guy drinking coffee. And now, she smiled. Now I think you're one of the strongest people I've met. I shrugged lightly. I'm just a dad. Exactly, she said. Outside the cafe, we paused on the sidewalk. So, she said, same place tomorrow. Tomorrow might be difficult. Oh. I promised Lily we'd get ice cream after school. Maya grinned. Bring her. You sure? Absolutely. She stepped back slightly. Besides, she added playfully, I want to see if the calm single dad can survive two energetic girls. I laughed. Careful, I said. You might regret that challenge. She pointed at me again with a smile. Remember what you said earlier. What? You don't know me. For a moment, we both laughed. Then she waved and started walking down the street. I watched her go for a second before heading toward my car. In 40 minutes, Lily would run out of school with her backpack bouncing and 100 stories about her day. And for the first time in a long while, it felt like life might be opening a new chapter. Not replacing the old one, just adding something new to it.